As new developments with this company. Grace, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, happy Monday, guys. Good to see you.
Happy Monday, Grace. It's great to have you to kick off this week and some exciting news coming out of CloudTrucks. And before we get into a little bit about what this news is, can you give us some background on the company? They're involved in kind of the cloud space of trucking, obviously.
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting way of getting into the trucking industry. I've never really seen a situation like this where they're giving drivers multiple opportunities to work with them, whether it's actually working as an owner-operator through CloudTrucks' authority or working as their own authority using CloudTrucks technology to grow and scale their business, or at the very tail end of it, you can work with their factoring company, which is more what they call at the time a CT cash, and that would allow you to get a Visa debit cash card that would be funded through CloudTrucks as you send invoices, etc. In that offering as well, you still get to use a lot of their load matching and back office management tools. And I would definitely have everyone take the time today to check out Mad Gaines' episode from 2 weeks ago, where she did a really interesting interview with the CEO of CloudTrucks and dove into a lot of the hiccups that come with this type of setup, which their CEO was very open and constructive in how they're growing and scaling this business. They've gone from being over the last 2 years, 0 trucks to over 450 trucks underneath their authority. With that comes challenges. So what I was really happy to see is right after that episode, they came out with this new offering, which is CT Credit, which seeing where we are in the economy and seeing where drivers are and improving their cash flow, I wasn't surprised to see this start to come from a part of their solution. It's something they've talked about in the past of adding. And what's really great is it's once again gives drivers underneath their authority or those drivers that are working within their business technology to get a different fintech solution that will allow them to scale their business during these more uncertain, turbulent times that drivers are now having to deal with.
Grace, this definitely sounds like a great solution for a lot of companies, a lot of carriers potentially, but are there any offerings in the works, or does this help at all with owner-operators?
Yes, this is owner-operators can go ahead and grab this. This is open to anyone that's not even underneath CloudTrucks authority. Low interest, different approval process than most trucking companies. A lot of trucking companies, when they do start to open up credit cards or open up different lines of credit, they're hit with very high interest rates. So there's no interest on this, low fees, very low, even on their factoring side. Most factoring companies will take about 3 to 4%. They believe they're at 2.5%, which is huge, right? Every little percent counts during these times for carriers. So if you're sitting there, you're saying, if we could have 1-2% more back into our pockets, which I know for a fact as a broker, these are the times where you start to negotiate those terms when dealing with lower rates, right? Like I might not be able to beat this rate that another company is offering, but I know I can factor or offer this solution at a different rate, or pay you faster with less taken out of that check. Seeing these type of financial solutions during these times is very strategic and I think smart for a company who's trying to grow a truly, as much as I hate this buzzword, tech-enabled type of trucking company.
I think it's very interesting to see kind of how CloudTrucks has done this evolution from the start of kind of their digital side through the factoring space and now moving into the credit side of things. Do you think that this is kind of a natural evolution for some of these companies who started off in kind of that digital trucking space and moving into the fintech space? We're coming up on this Fintech meets fintech kind of event that we've got going on here at FreightWaves. I think we're going to see a lot of that more coming through as well. Instead of pivoting from being the different digital solution, now you're pivoting to being the different payment solution, right?
Yeah, I mean, imagine having a bird's eye view of everything a carrier is doing from the moment they start their company to how they book loads and how they're factoring their invoices. But then when it comes to getting paid, you have no data behind that. This is just another area I think that different companies are going to start pulling data from. They want to know, okay, during what type of markets are carriers more willing to take certain rates? When should I expect a carrier to want to start diving into their lines of credit? What type of fees are carriers willing to take, and what fees are they not? And you can't answer those questions unless sometimes you're literally offering that solution yourself. So I think this is just another opportunity for CloudTrucks to really get the whole picture of how to run a growing large carrier network, and make sure that they're all scalable and sustainable, right? So you can take as many loads as you want. You can pick off a load board as many loads as you want, but you don't really have an idea of how a company is being run until you're able to peek your eyes into those numbers in the back office.
And Grace, another big story that's coming out, of course, the St. Christopher's Fund. Sounds like there's been a lot of momentum, a lot of great things happening over there.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have Shannon on the radio show tonight to talk about this as well. But they did reach a milestone of giving back $4 million to carriers. They started in 2007, and Dave Nemo, who's a part of series as well, was one of the original founders, and they've grown that into what it is today. With that $4 million, I want to say they've helped right underneath 3,500 truck drivers, and that's not just going towards a lot of the health and wellness programs they have, right? Like the diabetes solutions and the different programs to stop smoking cigarettes, but that's also going towards a lot of those expenses when drivers are injured or suffer illnesses that take them off the road. Even because you're sick, or let's say you injure yourself, we talk about this right now, there's still big loans that these drivers need to pay back for their trucks right now, right? Or they still have mortgages like the rest of us, still have rent to pay like the rest of us. So when you have a job that needs you to be the most up to shape, right? Even look at Rachel's talking about the marijuana aspect. You have to be the perfect individual, and if anything goes wrong and you're taken off the road, that's your livelihood. So it's really impressive to see that they've grown to this point, and really happy to see that. I mean, $4 million, there's not many trucking company nonprofits out there helping drivers. That's a huge milestone. I'm excited to talk to Shannon tonight and see what they have coming around the corner, because she's never stops being busy over there, that's for sure.
Grace, we had Shannon on a couple weeks ago talking a little bit about some of their programs and the Driving Down Diabetes initiative that they were talking about as well. And as you know for sure, we are all huge fans of St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund here on the show and at FreightWaves. And last year we had that fundraising initiative where you ended up with blue hair. I didn't quite hit my goal, but I think that we're going to do that again this year. And Anthony over here has agreed that if we can start this fundraising initiative and raise the money by F3 again this year, he's going to paint like the Avatar logo on his head, like Avatar. Yes. He's going to do it. He's agreed to it.
I'm in.
Yeah. Okay. Good. No, you're in. Signed and sealed today. I love that. No, I think that's great, and I think that's going to F3, right? With how much energy and excitement's into that, and how many people are going to be a part of that. Why not? Why not start raising these funds and giving back? I think St. Chris is the best initiative at making sure that that dollar is going to the right person.
Then in the logbook for the rest of this week, what else have you got going on in that? That's a great roundup of stories, your human interest stories that come out on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, so a part of this announcement too, they started this month the Travel Centers of America and St. Christopher's Roundup campaign. So for any drivers or even myself, if you're going to a TA or a petrol station, you can round up, and that money is going to go straight to St. Christopher's, 100% of that. So that's pretty big. The Border Trade Alliance just added a new new board member to their team. And what's really interesting is that he comes from a produce background, and specifically produce back and forth from Mexico. So I think that's a really great individual to throw on that group as well. And then on top of that, we have UPS, who is always doing really incredible things. But of course, the UPS Foundation is going to be moving forward with $8.5 million of investment into continuing to help the Ukraine. A number of, we've talked about Zipline before, right? Working with Zipline to continue offering their services in Nigeria. And then last and definitely not least is their huge investment within their own headquarters in Atlanta. So they're looking to give back to a number of universities in the space and continue to build up equity within a number of neighborhoods within Atlanta as well. So excited to see that. And the UPS Foundation is we need to get Carol on Great Quarter Gals to talk about what the UPS Foundation is doing, because they are incredibly active. And I usually get a story once a year where I can dive into everything that they've done. And this is a big one as well.
We spoke Shelley Simpson into existence, I think, just by saying her name like every time that you were on with us here on Freightwaves. So let's say it. Carol Tomei, we're going to get her on the Great Quarter Gals, talk all about the UPS Foundation and the good work that she's doing. Just bring it to us. All right, Grace, thank you for joining us today. Great to have you as always. We'll catch you on Road Dog Radio this evening.
Yes, ma'am. Monday through Friday. You can catch me tonight. I'll be on with Shannon, and in the second half, the incredible Ingrid Brown will be on to go through some headlines and figure out should drivers is a big deal or a little deal. So it's fun stuff.
There you go. All right, Grace, we'll talk to you again soon. All right, now we're going to head back over to the wall. We've got our first carrier update this morning with Thomas Wasson, and he's joined by Anthony Smith.